week on Overdrive, an in-depth look at the Tata Harrier EV, detailed interviews with Tata EV leadership on the platform, supply chain and EV strategy, and a chat with Vietnamese EV maker VinFast's Asia CEO ahead of its India launch. Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I am Soini. The Tata EV has just launched the Harrier EV in India, 21.49 lakh rupees ex-showroom. That's the introductory ex-showroom pricing. And to know more about this SUV, let's deep dive into the walk around. Let's check out what Rohit has to say about it.
This is the new Tata Harrier EV. We saw it for the first time at the Bharat Mobility Expo 2025. That time they didn't really reveal a lot of technical specifications. Now they have. I don't know how much of it the camera is capturing, but you can see blue, you can see shades of purple in it as well, and it's available in 5 different color options, including the stealth black that we saw at the Bharat Mobility Expo. But the main details are obviously to the front end, completely different grille compared to the Harrier IS that we know of so far. Even the lower part is completely different. And then you also see this box because there is level 2 ADAS, which Tata claims is Indianized, and they're going to tell us a lot more about it as time passes. So we'll just hang around on that bit. You also get a completely flat underbody, and what you see here are 18-inch wheels. Of course, these look like aerodynamic discs because that is exactly their function. They aim to reduce the aerodynamic drag while on the road. As for the suspension, you also get the frequency selective damping on this one, so that's some top tier suspension for this particular category of car. Now you also see the .EV badging on the door, and then there are plethora of cameras to give you 540 degrees of surround view. At the end, you see that the quad wheel drive. That's Tata speak for electric all-wheel drive system, because this vehicle uses a permanent magnet synchronous motor at the rear and an induction motor at the front. So 2 electric motors giving you electric all-wheel drive capabilities. Now let's count the number of cameras. There is one each, of course, in the wing mirrors, but in the front end, if you see, you get one here right beneath the Tata logo. That's the standard placement. Then you will see one on the windscreen right there, and then one above that. So that's 3 cameras in the front. Why? Well, one is going to help you with all the reversing functions. The one in between, on the inside view rear mirror, is essentially a dash cam. So it's going to keep recording footage of whatever is in front of you. And in case of a collision, it's going to auto save that as well. So you can use it for your insurance claims, or if you need to use it with an FIR or something. So we'll leave it to that. And the third one is for the ADAS. So it's going to use a combination of radars and the camera-based system for a level 2 ADAS functionality, and it's Indianized is what Tata says. Then similarly at the rear, you'll get one reversing camera right here beneath the Tata logo again, and you'll also see one in the shark fin antenna. What is that for? That's not for ADAS. That is for the E-mirror or the EIRVM. So the inside rearview mirror is not a traditional mirror. It's drawing feed from this so that the driver can get a full view, a wide view of what is behind the car. At the same time, if you are chauffeur driven, you can enjoy your privacy in the back seat. The driver is not going to get any view of what's happening in the back. The battery pack goes in the floor, and you're going to get 2 options. The lower-end variants are going to come with a 65 kilowatt-hour battery pack. Higher-end variants will come with a 75 kilowatt. Both of these are made in India. They are also tested for all the safety aspects that Tata is famous for, which means that battery pack also tested for that 5-star safety rating that Tata is adding with. And Harrier is definitely going to achieve that even with its electric variant. In terms of the charging, both these battery packs are compatible with 120 kilowatt in fast charging actions. And by 2027, Tata is going to set up 500 of these 120 kilowatt fast chargers. And then the public chargers, which means anyone can use it. Tata customers will get a discount, 25% discount to begin with, and I'm sure as promotions go, some of them will also be free for some Tata customers. And not just that, the battery packs come with an unlimited kilometer lifetime warranty. No 8-year, no 10-year limit, lifetime warranty. Whether that extends to the second or third owner, that remains to be seen. We'll check with Tata on that. But in terms of the range, Tata is claiming over 625 kilometers of range for the 75 kilowatt-hour battery pack. At the same time, they have this C75 concept, right? It's not the IDC, the Indian driving cycle. It's something that they've derived from all the driving data that they have got from their own customers. So they say that looking at the driving patterns of 75% of their customers, This car will be able to give you easily between 450 to 505 kilometers of real-world driving range with that 75 kilowatt-hour battery pack. There's a tiny little switch in here which operates the powered tailgate. And once you open the boot, it reveals a 502-liter boot space. Quite sizable in my opinion. You also get a 60-40 split seat, fully collapsible. So once you do that, you get up to 999 liters of boot space. Well, let's talk about the cabin, the front end of it. The first thing that's going to attract your attention is, of course, this 14.5-inch touchscreen. It's a Samsung QLED display panel, and Tata claims it's the first of its kind in the industry. It's mated to a 10-speaker JBL system, and you'll see that the JBL speaker or the JBL logos are done up in black because this is a JBL black system, something that they say is the top of the line for this category of car. And like I said, it's a 10-speaker system, so you get that proper surround sound. And they also have Dolby Atmos for it. They also mentioned spatial audio. You need to check that, but it's a proper surround sound system. And then the rest of the cabin, it feels familiar, it looks familiar with the standard Harrier that we've seen, but this is of course the big talking point. And once you go into the maps, now this is powered by Map My India. It basically shows you a polygon and it tells you the radius that you can travel with the current state of charge. You see that, you see the green and the red. So with the current state of charge, that's the kind of radius that you can go into. So here you can get a quick view of the rear view mirror. This is actually a screen. And like I was showing you, there is also camera behind that, so that doubles up as a dash cam, and then it also can record feed from the rear camera, the one that is on the shark fin antenna. So in case you are rear-ended by someone or if there is a collision, it will also save all that footage. This is where you get the terrain mode selector or the different mode selector, and you will be able to, depending on the surface that you're driving on, cater or change all of this. So there's snow and grass, there is mud and ruts, there is sand, there is rock crawl, and then there is also a custom mode. So basically it is going to be a function of the quad wheel drive or the all-wheel drive, electric all-wheel drive system that you have, and traction control system, both working together to give you these different modes to be able to tackle different kinds of terrain that you're driving on. So let's also talk about the rear seat. Ingress, egress, absolutely easy. Now this is not a born electric platform. It still has a big battery pack underneath, but you're not really sitting in a knees up position or anything. The seating position is really, really good. So I really like it. What you will also see is this little pattern on this big panoramic roof that they've created, sort of giving you a view of the galaxy, so to say. But yeah, they love doing things like these, right? This is not electronic. It's just a pattern that is printed on top. Now, in terms of the overall seating comfort, really good. The contouring is quite nice. You also get this center armrest with 2 cup holders. So overall, it's really nicely done. Now this is the accessorized version, but what you do get are these comfort headrests that you see right here. That is again quite nicely done. And then you have these window blinds also at the rear. And finally, you also get this boss mode, which means that just pressing these switches, you will be able to control the position of the seat in front of you, so you can maximize your foot space, leg room, all of that, and just snooze back here in comfort. Let's also take a look at the skeleton of the Harrier EV. So what you will see here at the front is the induction motor. What they are using at the rear is a permanent magnet synchronous motor. That is what you will see on the rear. And together these work to create that electric all-wheel drive system, or in Tata speak, the quad wheel drive system. And as for the chassis, they have color-coded it. So that is for you to understand that 57% of the chassis is made using high strength or advanced steels to get it that 5-star safety rating, and that extends not only to the passenger cell but also to the battery pack that will go underneath. So even in terms of side impact collision, frontal, rear collision, whatever it may be, it has been tested. The battery pack has also been tested for all of that. So the car, the passengers, they all remain safe. Now we talked about the motors, we talked about the safety, we talked about the battery pack. Again, let me reiterate, this is not a born electric. They have taken the existing platform of the Harrier and then made it into the Harrier EV.
Coming up shortly, we catch up with Tata EV management to know about the QWD system and the placement of this SUV. Welcome back here with us on Overdrive. At the Tata Harrier EV launch, I also caught up with the top management to understand the scalability of the electric architecture the Harrier EV is based on, and also to understand how the probability of a scarcity of raw materials might affect the delivery timelines of the Harrier EV and also the industry in general. Let's listen in. Mr. Srivatsa, thank you so much for joining us on
My
CNBC TV 18 as well as on Overdrive, the Active Plus platform that this car is based on. Why has Tata chosen to go through this route, considering that the competitors have gone through a completely electric-based platform?
I mean, Active Plus itself is a pure EV platform.
Yeah.
It's just that we have gone with the traditional top hat on it, It is, I mean, you've seen it's a flat floor and the kind of tech that it releases. It is a pure EV architecture. It's an extension of the architecture that we had used for Punch, Curve.
Right.
And now it comes into Harrier, but in a much superior way. That's why we call it Active Plus.
The all-wheel drive. That is not something that we've seen in the ICE model,
Yes.
right? Do you see a lot of takers for this in the electric guys right now?
I think relatively on the electric, we will see more AWD takers than on ICE, is what we believe in, because it not only releases on one side the capability to go off-road and into challenging terrains, but it also allows greater safety, greater performance on normal roads as well.
Of course, I have to ask you about the future of Tata EV, the products that we might see, the SUVs. Is this the all-wheel drive variant in electric SUVs going to be something that we're going to see in the future as well with the Sierra EV and?
It's very much possible, I think carrying forward QWD to other electric vehicles is very much possible, especially if they share the Active Plus platform. It is very much possible, and if consumer response is good, we will definitely look at that. Yeah.
So when can we expect that? What's the timeline for that?
Sierra will definitely come in this calendar year, later part of the calendar year.
We're very excited with the Harrier EV that has launched. It seems like a very capable off-roader with all-wheel drive capabilities. Would I be right in saying that it has borrowed DNA from the Land Rover?
I think that might not be as true, because this is a completely indigenously developed platform architecture. And while the original Harrier and the Safari did borrow something from the D8 platform of JLR,
Right.
that itself was modified significantly to make the Omega Arc platform on the ICE side. The ICE and EV have almost nothing in common.
Right.
For one, the entire propulsion is an electric propulsion. For example, this is all-wheel drive, so you have dual motor setup.
Right.
There's a motor in the front, there's a motor in the rear.
Right.
But more importantly, there is also an independent rear wheel suspension, and there's a frequency-dependent damping.
Right.
And all of this makes it completely different. The entire floor pan is different. The side sills have been heavily modified and reinforced in order to make sure that the battery side pole impact that I showed on the screen today,
Right.
The battery is absolutely safe, and
Right.
the vehicle is also absolutely safe. So in that sense, this is a completely different architecture.
Right.
And therefore, while I like the comparisons, but there is nothing common in that sense.
There are also reports of, a scarcity of rare earth materials coming in. So will that be a challenge?
There's
for
been
it?
some level of discussion on the scarcity of material. So in the short term, I think we are protected. There is no problems with that. In the medium term, we are already looking at alternate sources, and there are alternate sources that we can work with. There may be a certain amount of extra expense that goes along with it, but it certainly would not hamper us in a very large way.
Right.
And then in the longer run, technology can take care of itself, because you have a permanent magnet-less motors, traction drives. See, permanent magnets came at a particular point because you wanted to shrink the size, you wanted to improve the efficiency, and you wanted to make the motors more powerful. You may have to give away some of those enablements, but you could still find solutions. So that's how we see it. We would like to monitor this carefully. We wouldn't want to be complacent or anything. But as of now, we are fairly okay.
Well, it's time to head into our final commercial break here on the show, but don't go anywhere because on the other side, we're going to catch up with electric Vietnamese manufacturer VinFast to know more about the brand's plans for India. Welcome back here with us on Overdrive. India is becoming a very attractive market for manufacturers to bring in their EV products, and the latest manufacturer to enter India starting this month itself is going to be a Vietnamese brand called VinFast. To know about the brand's premium sedans that will be entering the market this year, as well as the future plans, we will be talking to the CEO of VinFast Asia. Let's listen in.
Today we are in Vietnam. We were driving those two cars which we saw at Bharat Mobility Expo. And to know more about that, we have Mr. Famsan Chow, who is the CEO Asia VinFast. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time for us. And first question, which most of our viewers and car enthusiasts are, willing to know or curious about, is the date of launch. When are you planning to launch these cars in India?
We plan to open our booking mid of June. And hopefully after a few weeks, we will be able to deliver the car. Mm-hmm. So definitely you will get the car before Diwali.
You are planning to bring the VF7 and VF6 initially in the Indian market?
Yes, we want to launch first Indian market VF7 and VF6 in order to position ourselves as the premium EV car in the world. And after that, we will certainly launch other model as well. So we already have in mind which model we are going to launch. And certainly, I think that this whole line up of our VEV in India will be able to satisfy different segments in India.
So if we look at your timeline, maybe 1 year and maybe 5 years, how are you going to see VinFast in India in this year and the next 5 years?
So this year, at the second half of 2025, we launch VF6 and VF7, and after that, next year we'll have other model like a VF3 or VF5 or 7-seaters. And after that, 1 year after that, we certainly launch other model as well, since we have the whole lineup.
And if we look at your home market, you have very attractive offers for all the EV customers. How are you going to translate that into the Indian market, whether it's charging network, subscription models, free charging for customers, or local partners for charging network? How are you going to plan that?
We are in the process of incorporations of our sister company like GSM, which is a taxi company and platform company. We are identifying the province or the states that we are going to establish ourselves first. We are in the process of incorporations of our V-Green, and at the same time, V-Green have been in discussion with some of the local partners. Before the arrival of V-Green, we have been in talk with Tata Charger and other players who provide charging service in order to use those chargers for our VinFast cars. And we also in discussions with other state government about how to bring in e-bus car, because we also own e-bus company which operate the e-buses across different cities. So we will bring in the whole ecosystem, ranging from four-wheelers and then two-wheelers and then e-buses. And with the ecosystem of charging point, of network of workshops, and the network of sale and showroom. And also we come up with the policy of buying back with a Green Future company. And we work closely with the bank for the dealer financing and customer financing.
And you also mentioned that many markets in Asia, you've installed like thousands of chargers.
Yes.
So are you also planning some exclusive charging network for the Indian market?
Yes, at the moment we are in the discussions with some of the partners in the region, in India, as well as with the state governments, because the policy of incentive for public charger vary from state to state. So we are wondering whether we are going to the model of exclusive charger or model of public charger. So all this is under discussion.
And when you're launching the car or when the delivery starts, at that moment, how many dealerships, what kind of states and cities are we looking at?
Yes, at the moment we are trying to have this year about 35 workshops in different cities. I mean, in order to, for this year 2025, we certainly increase the number of workshops in the next year. And at the moment we start taking the booking, we hope that we have more, around 15 dealers across India.
Thank you so much, and best of luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
With that, it's a wrap on this week's edition of Overdrive. But remember, you can stay in touch with the team through our various social media platforms, and you can write to us on YouTube as well. We'll see you next week. Until then, goodbye. Many thanks for watching. Drive and ride safe.